Hi everybody, let me to introduce you today some aspects regarding oilseeds. The importance of oilseed crop are far more than a simple source of nutrition. They are strategic resources for both agriculture and modern industry. Their importance lies in their versatility and in their high oil and protein content, which gave them great economic potential. The oils extracted from their seeds are indispensable in multiple industries. In the food sector, oil from sunflower, rapeseed, soybean, maize, or cotton are the basis of raffinate oil, margarine, mayonnaise, canned products, bakery, etc. Rich in unsaturated fatty acid, they contribute to lowering bad cholesterol and protecting cardiovascular health. But their value extends well beyond food. In the non-food sector, linseed oil is used in paints and varnishes because it dries very quickly. Castor oil, rich in linseed oleic acid, is used as a lubricant in textile industry and as a base for plasticizers and synthetic materials. Rapeseed oil has become the main raw material for biodiesel, with its use increasing rapidly in recent decades. The cosmetic industry employs vegetable oils for creams, lotions, shampoos, and soaps, while in pharmacy, oils serve as excipients or even active ingredients in medical preparation. Nothing is waste. The residues after oil extraction, known as oilseed meals or cakes, are highly valued in animal husbandry, where they are used as protein-rich feed. In some cases, like sunflower or sesame, these byproducts also go directly into human food. Think halva, energy bars, or pastry products. So when we talk about oilseed crops, we are talking about strategic links in the global agro-industrial system, supporting food security, industry, and even renewable energy. They are truly a pillar of the modern circular economy. About the biological characteristics of oilseed crops, to understand this culture can be farmed efficiently, we need to look at their biology. This plant belongs to different botanical families, yet they share important traits that influence yields and management. The root system of this plant is crucial. Sunflower and castor bean, for example, develop deep tap roots reaching 2 to 3 meters into the soil. This allows them to access water and nutrients from deep layers and clear advantage in drought-prone areas. Soybean and peanuts, being legumes, enter into symbiosis with different bacteria, fixing nitrogen and reducing fertilizer needs. Rapeseed has a shallower but dense root system, ideal for exploring the upper soil layers. The stem varies from the rigid and herbaceous in sunflower and rapeseed to the semi-woody in castor. It provides support, conducts nutrients, and modern hybrids is bred for resistance to lodging and shattering, critical for mechanized harvesting. Leaves, meanwhile, are the factories of the crop. Their size, shape, and orientation determine photosynthetic capacity. Soybeans, with their trifoliate leaves or sunflower with its large ovate leaves produce high levels of assimilates for seed filling. The flowers are equally diverse. So, soybeans are mostly self-pollinating, ripe seeds combine self and cross-pollination, while sunflower depends heavily on insect pollinators like bees. Farmers who place beehives near sunflower fields can boost yields by up to 20, 30, 40%. Finally, their seeds are economic organs. Sunflower contains 38 to 52% of oil, ripe seeds 40 to 46%, soybean 18 to 22% oil, but as much as 35 to 42% protein. Linseeds about 35 to 40% oil, rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Castor bean up to 55% oil with unique industrial properties. These seeds not only provide lipids but also high-quality proteins both for food and feed. For the farmer, understanding these biological traits means smarter crop management, choosing the right variety, adjusting sowing density, applying targeted fertilizers, and protecting leaves and flowers at the right time. In short, biological guide practice and practice transformation biology into profitable harvests. Yield formation in an oilseed crop is not random. It is a result of biological processes carefully supported by agricultural decisions. During the vegetative phases, roots, stems, and leaves capture water, nutrients, and sunlight. Then, in the reproductive phase, flowering, pollination, and fertilizer determine the number of seeds. Finally, during the seed filling stage, the plant directs all the energy into oil and protein accumulation. This stage decides whether we get a mediocre harvest or an exceptional one. The farmer role is to keep the system running smoothly, maintaining green, healthy leaves, securing water and nutrients, and protecting against stress. Key element productivity are threefold: the number of fruit per unit area, the number of fruit capitula, pods or siliques per plant, and the number and weight of seeds per fruit. This factor compensate for one another. Fewer plants can produce more fruits. Too many plants reduce one another's potential. Balanced planting density, timely fertilization, especially with potassium and boron, and proper irrigation during flowering and seed filling all make the difference. In the end, yields is balanced between genetics and technology, like all other culture. The genetic blueprint offers potential, but the farmer decision unlocks that potential. Every green leaf, every fertilized flower, every healthy pod adds up day by day to the final harvest. That is why oilseed crops are not just a matter of weather luck, they are the outcome of informed, scientific, and attentive agricultural practice. The next lesson is about sunflower. Some words about introduction, systematics, chemical composition, and sunflower varieties. Sunflower is one of the world's leading oilseed crops and is the most important in Romania. This plant is originally from North America. It has adapted to a wide range of soil and climates, and today it is cultivated in over 26 million hectares worldwide. In Romania, sunflower occupies a strategic position both economically and agriculturally, thanks to the favorable climate condition and the long tradition in hybrid breeding. Modern hybrids have transformed the crop, providing higher yields, better resistance to disease and pests, and oil with distinct nutritional and industrial qualities. Chemically, sunflower seeds contain 40 to 53% oil, sometimes up to 65% in the kernel alone, and 50 to 22 protein percent. The oil is dominated by unsaturated fatty acid, essential for human health and which provide oxidative stability and makes the oil attractive for both food and biofuel. In addition, sunflower seeds contain vitamins such as A, D, and E, lecithin, and essential minerals. All these traits make sunflower a cornerstone in modern agriculture. Climate requirements. Sunflower is a remarkably adaptable, but its growth and productivity are strongly influenced by temperature. It is considered a mesothermal crop, requiring a total of 2,400 to 2,800 degrees Celsius during its growing season. Germination begins at 7 degrees, and young plant can briefly withstand frost down to -6 or -8 degrees. However, during flowering, the crop becomes very sensitive. Temperatures above 30 degrees combined with dry wind can reduce pollen viability, resulting in empty seeds and yield losses. The optimal temperature for seed filling is between 20 and 22 degrees, which ensures both high yields and good oil quality. Sunflower ability to tolerate heat and drought comes from its deep taproot system, which can reach 2 meters, and its capacity to withstand temporary issue dehydration. Nevertheless, water stress during flowering or seed formation remains the most limiting factor for yields. So, water, light, and soil requirements. Moisture is the most decisive factor for sunflower productivity. Known as a drought-resistant crop, sunflower consumes between 400 and 450 millimeters of water during its growing season. Only about 20% of this is used before flowering, while the critical consumption occurs from budding to maturity. In fact, the maximum daily water requirement can reach 5 millimeters from July to August. When water reserves are insufficient, yield and oil content decline sharply. Sunflower is also a light-demanding plant. Its leaves follow the sun in a process called heliotropism, maximizing light interception and photosynthesis. Shading its early stages reduces leaf area and weakens plant growth. As for soil, sunflower prefer deep, well-structured, loamy soils with good water retention and a pH between 6.4 and 7.2. Cairnosomes and alluvial soils are the most suitable, with compact clays or very sandy soil are unfavorable. The crop tolerates moderate salinity, which further demonstrates its ecological adaptability. About cultivation technology, Sunflower is a demanding crop in terms of crop rotation and soil management. It cannot be grown in monoculture. It should return to the same field only after 6 years, with a share of less than 18% in the rotation. It prevents the spread of the major diseases such sclerotinia or broom rape. The best preceding crop are cereals and legumes, particularly wheat, peas, and maize. Sunflower requires a well-prepared seed bed, usually with deep ploughing in autumn and surface cultivation in spring. Fertilization is critical as the crop extracts large amounts of nutrients, up to the 35 kilograms of nitrogen, 7 kilograms of phosphorus, and 16 kilograms of potassium per ton of seed produced. Balanced nutrition is essential. Excess nitrogen reduces soil content, while boron deficiency causes poor pollination and deformed capitula. Modern hybrids respond well to targeted fertilization and crop protection. Weed control is crucial, especially in the first 40 days after sunflower grows slowly. Clearfield and Express Sun hybrids allow selective herbicide use, ensuring clear-null fields. Pest and disease management requires both resistant hybrids and careful monitoring. Irrigation, although less common in practice, can double yields if applied during flowering and seed filling. Finally, harvest timing is crucial. It usually takes place in late August or September when seeds reach 9 to 10% moisture. Delayed harvest increase losses due to the shattering, birds, or diseases. About yield formation and productivity factors, sunflower yield is determined by several interconnected factors. First, the number of plants per hectare, which is set at sowing but naturally adjusted by field conditions. Second, the number of seeds per capitulum, which depend on leaf area before flowering and the vascularization of the head. Third, the 1,000 seed weight, influenced by photosynthesis after flowering, water availability, and nutrient supply. And finally, the oil content, the defining factor for the economic value of the crop. These elements interact in complex ways. Higher plant density can reduce capitulum size, while a larger number of seeds may lower average seed weight. The environment plays a decisive role. Water and nutrient availability during flowering and seed filling largely determine whether yield potential is reached. Farmers can optimize yields by choosing hybrids adapted to local conditions, adjusting density, applying balanced fertilization, and protecting the crop during sensitive growth stages. The harvest is essentially built step by step, from emerge to maturity, with every leaf, every flower, and every seed contributing to the final results. About sunflower industrial utilization and trends. Beyond the field, sunflower is one of the most versatile industrial crops. The seeds are the primary raw material for edible oil, valued from its flavor, high smoke point, and health benefits. Refined sunflower oil is used in cooking, frying, canned goods, and bakery products. The pressed cake, rich in protein and vitamins, become animal feed of high biological value. Seed husks are processed into furfural, a chemical used for resins, adhesives, and synthetic fibers. Capitula are sources of pectin in the food industry, while steams can be transformed into particle board, paper, or biomass for energy. Even the plant has a bee capacity, supports apiculture, producing and sunflower honey. Recent trends emphasize high oleic hybrids producing oil comparable to olive oil in nutritional value and with superior oxidative stability. This oil is increasingly demanded not only for food but also for biofuel. Romania plays a key role in Europe as being a major exporter of sunflower seeds and oil, but debates continue around sustainability. Rotation intervals, soil fertility, and water remain central topics. In the same time, biotechnology and breeding aim to create hybrids more resistant to drought, pest, and climate extremes. In the broader bioeconomy, sunflower is not longer seen only as a food crop, but is also a strategic industrial resource, supporting food, energy, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and green chemistry. In short, sunflower is truly a multifunctional plant positioned at the crossroad of agriculture, industry, and sustainability. Hello everybody, I'm back again. Let me to introduce you some basic concepts, systematics, cultivation area, chemical composition of ripe seeds, or in Latin Brassica napus, that is one of the most important oilseeds crops in modern agriculture. It belongs to Cruciferous family within the Brassica genus, which include more than 30 known species. Out of these, 2 species are particularly relevant for oil production: Brassica napus and Brassica campestris. Both species have been developed in autumn sown and spring sown varieties adapted to different environments and farming systems. The vegetation cycle of autumn types lasts around 270 to 300 days, while spring types complete their development in just 110 to 130 days. The expansion of rapeseed in Europe and Romania has been remarkable in recent decades. This has been driven not only by its role as a source of vegetable oil for human nutrition, but also its increasing importance as a renewable energy resource. In Romania, average oil content of cultivated variety lies between 44 and 46%, but in advanced double-zero hybrid varieties free of erucic acid, the oil level may extend to 48%. These compounds were once problematic, limiting the nutritional and feed value of rapeseed. Through plant breeding, they have been reduced to low levels, making modern rapeseed oil safe, healthy, and versatile. Besides oil, rapeseed seeds also contain up to 24% proteins of high biological value, further adding to their importance for food and feed industries. The fatty acid profile of rapeseed oil has been changed significantly over time. While in the past oleic acid levels were modest, today modern hybrids can accumulate more than 60% oleic acid, accompanied by linoleic acid and linoleic acid are essential for human health. This balance of nutrients, combined with adaptability and yield potential, make rapeseed a strategic crop both as national and international level. About varieties and hybrids, modern agriculture depends heavily on hybrid technology, and rapeseed is not an exception. The introduction of high-performance hybrids has transformed this crop into a reliable source of income for farmers. In Romania, several hybrids have become well known. For example, Umberto is widely cultivated thanks to its ability to adapt to diverse environments, from fertile plains to drought areas. It is also appreciated for its tolerance to frost, making it suitable for continental climates. Helico, another successful hybrid, is remarkable because of this resistance to pod shattering, a problem that can otherwise lead to heavy losses during harvest. PT 303 Sclerotinia protector, developed by Corteva, represents a breakthrough in disease management, as it helps farmers to control sclerotinia, one of the most damaging rapeseed diseases. Other hybrids, such as InVigor 2040, combine high-level potential with disease resistance and pod stability. On the international stage, companies like Syngenta, Lima Grain, and DeKalb introduce hybrids such as Xstorm, Harnas, Architect, and Alize. These hybrids are appreciated for their resilience, stability, and capacity to maintain high yields under different climatic conditions. Each hybrid is selected based on the key criteria: tolerance to frost, resistance to diseases like Phoma and Sclerotinia, adaptability to soil types, and stability to production year after year. Romania also plays an active role in hybrid development. Research centers like Fundula have created local varieties tailored to Romanian soil and climates. This includes zero-type hybrids free of euric acid and 00 types free of both euric acid and glucosinolates. They ensure safer, higher quality of oil and protein meals for human and animal consumption. Choosing the right hybrids, it's always a decision that considers soil fertility, water availability, and rotation practices. By making informed choices, farmers can maximize both yield and quality, ensuring profitability and sustainability. About climate and soil requirement of this culture, rapeseed is a determining plant when it comes to climate and soil, but with the right condition, it can deliver very high yields. The crop thrives in temperate regions where the annual precipitation range between 450 and 650 millimeters. Moisture is particularly critical in two stages: during emergence and rosette formation in autumn, and during flowering and seed filling in spring and early summer. The transpiration coefficient of rapeseed is high, which means the plant consumes large amount of water to produce biomass. This is why even short drought can have a negative impact on yields. However, one of the rapeseed strengths is the ability to make efficient use of water stored in the soil over winter due to its deep root system and early spring growth. Temperature is another decisive factor. Autumn rapeseed is resistant to frost, surviving temperature as low as -20, or even minus 25 degrees Celsius, provided that is the plant have undergone a proper hardening period. During this phase, which requires about 40 days, the plant accumulates sugars and proteins that protect its tissues against freezing. However, rapeseed is very sensitive to sudden temperature fluctuation, especially in spring. Late frost during flowering or pod formation can cause devastating losses. As for soil, rapeseed requires deep, fertile and well-drained fields. The best results are obtained for Cairnosome, alluvial soil and brown forest soil, rich in humus, calcium with a neutral pH. It does not tolerate compacted or poorly aerated soil, and sandy soil also can limit its potential unless irrigation and fertilization are applied. The plant also benefits from good light exposure as it's highly heliotrophilous. All these requirements explain why rapeseed is often cultivated in areas with favorable agroclimatic conditions, but also why modern technology is needed to expand its cultivation into more challenging regions. About cultivation technology. The success of rapeseed crop depends on the precision and timing of each technological step. Crop rotation is essential. Rapeseed should not be grown after sunflower or soybean due to the risk of sclerotinia infection, and it should return to the same field only after at least 3 years. Good precursors include cereals, peas, and potatoes, which leave the soil in good condition and vacant the land early. Fertilization is one of the most critical practices. Rapeseed is a heavy nutrient consumer. For each ton of seeds, the plant requires about 50 to 60 kilograms of nitrogen, 30 to 60 kilograms of phosphorus, 40 to 50 kilograms of potassium, as well as calcium, sulfur, and micronutrients such as boron. Nitrogen is particularly important, but both deficiency and excess can reduce yields. Phosphorus and potassium contribute to root development, winter resistance, and seed filling. Organic fertilizers such as manure also play an important role improving soil structure and nutrient balance. Sowing must be carefully planned. The seeds are very small, so the seed bed has to be finely prepared and well leveled. The optimal sowing time ensures that the plants enter winter with a well-developed rosette of 6 to 8 leaves, a strong taproot, and a thickened collar. If sown too late, the plant may not withstand frost. If sown too early, they risk growing excessively before winter and become sensitive to cold. Seed density which usually range between 100 to 150 plants per square meter, depending, of course, on variety and growing condition. During vegetation, farmers must manage weeds, pests, and diseases. Mechanical weeding is less common today, as herbicides are more efficient, but biological and integrated pest management strategies are gaining attention. Pests such as flea beetles, pollen beetles, and stem weevils are monitored, and with yellow traps and treatment are applied only when economic thresholds are exceeded. Irrigation may be necessary in drought areas, particularly in southeastern Romania, both in autumn for emergence and in spring during pod formation. Harvesting is another crucial phase. Rapeseed is prone to pod shattering, which can cause losses up to 40%. To minimize this risk, farmers may use hybrids with shatter-resistant, apply desiccation treatment, or harvest in two phases, cutting and windrowing followed by combining. Direct harvesting is faster by risker and requires careful combine adjustment. All these measures underline the technological complexity of rapeseed farming, which require precision at every step. About industrial uses and trends of this plant, rapeseed's true importance becomes clear when we look at its multiple industrial applications. First and foremost, rapeseed oil is a high-quality edible oil, low in saturated fats, and rich in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, making it favorable for cardiovascular health. It is widely used for cooking, in salads, and processed foods, but has a potential for far beyond the kitchen. In the energy sector, rapeseed oil is the main raw material for biodiesel, a renewable, biodegradable, and eco-friendly fuel that reduces greenhouse gas emissions. This makes rapeseed a cornerstone for Europe's renewable energy strategy. In the chemical industry, rapeseed oil is used in varnishes, paints, printing inks, biodegradable lubricants, detergents, and even in the synthesis of biodegradable plastic and polymers. The phytopharmaceutical and cosmetic industry also rely on rapeseed derivatives using lecithin, vitamin E, and essential fatty acid in creams, capsules, and personal care products. Byproducts are equally valuable. Rapeseed cakes with up to 38% protein is widely used in animal feed. Straw can be used in particle board production or as biomass for energy. Rapeseed flowers are also an excellent nectar source, producing up to 50 kilograms of honey per hectare, thus supporting the bees keeping. In the term of trends, there is a clear movement towards high oleic hybrids, producing oil with a composition closer to olive oil, stable, healthier, and with better industrial properties. In the same time, precision farming, drones, sensor, and satellite monitoring are increasingly used in rapeseed cultivation, enabling farmers to optimize resourcing and reduce environment impact. However, debates remain open. The expansion of rapeseed for biofuel raises questions about the land use, food security, and biodiversity. Concern about pesticide impact on pollinators, especially bees, are leading to stricter regulation and the search for ecological alternatives. In conclusion, rapeseed is not just an oilseed crop. It is a key resource for the future of sustainable agriculture, bioeconomy, and green energy. Its versatility, combined with technological and genetic progress, ensures that rapeseed will continue to play a vital role in both food systems and industrial innovation. Hello everybody, let me introduce you today Some information about origin, composition, and varieties. Castor oil plant, Ricinus communis, it's a bit of a botanical outlier. It is the only species in the genus Ricinus, sitting in the large Euphorbiaceae family alongside everything from the tiny herbs to tropical trees. Its natural home, it's tropical Africa, think Nile Basin and Ethiopia, and from there it's traveled with trade across Asia and later in Americas. What makes it valuable is inside the seeds. Romanian breed lines historically reached 54 to 56% oil with around 15 protein. Chemically, castor oil is dominated by linoleic acid, about 80% of total fatty acid, which gives the oil its unusual thickness, lubricity, and heat stability. We also see smaller amount of oleic, linoleic, stearic, and a bit of deoxystearic acid. Technologically, it's not a drying oil, but if you dehydrate, you can convert into a high-quality drying oil for coatings. There is a flip side. The oil cake after extraction can contain ricin and compounds not present in the raffinate oil but concentrated in the meal and green tissues. With proper detoxification, the meal can be used as protein feed. Without it, is unsafe. Morphologically, the plant is striking big palmate leaves, a hollow, easily breathed young stem, and a compound with raceme with male flowers below and female above. Fruit are capsules, smooth or spiny, housing large mottled seeds. 1,000 seeds weight can range between 70 to 1,000 grams, which tell us how diverse the types are. That diversity underpins breeding goals. Oil yield, drought tolerance, architecture for mechanization, and earliness. Globally, India leads with modern hybrids like GCH4 and GCH6. Brazil targets semi-arid system and bioenergy. China used castor on marginal land. Romania once grew varieties such as Dragon, Christian, Rival, Stelorman, Vlaška, adapted to our continental summers and to mechanical harvest, but today there are no variety in the national catalog. The crop faded as processing chain disappeared, not because of the plant's lost relevance. Some words about climate and soil requirements. Castor is a thermophilic. It thrives on heat and light. Think of it as a summer specialist. For reliable maturation, it needs a seasonal heat sum in order to 1050 to 300 degrees Celsius days based on 10 degrees Celsius. In practice, that limits competitive production to long, hot summers in Romania, mainly in the southern part of the countries. Timing matters from day one. Germination starts near 10 Celsius degrees and become rapid as soil past 15 to 20 degrees. Late spring frost or an early autumn snap can wipe plants, so sowing follows soil warming, and the calendar aims to bring the main raceme to maturity, often requiring 1300 Celsius degrees from sowing. Water needs are moderate to high, often compared with maize. To express yield potential, the crop wants at least 300 millimeters across the season, with July and August being critical because flowering and capsule set are in full swing. Too dry, flowers abort. Too wet and disease, pressure rises. Light is another lever. Castor loves full sun. Shade or overly dense canopies push stem to elongate, reduce raceme quality, and lower oil. For soil, think deep, well aerated, free drainage profiles, loamy sandy to sandy loam where the taproot can drive down. Optimal pH sits around 6 to 7.5. Heavy, compacted, cold, or waterlogging soil cause root asphyxia and invite pathogens. In short, a warm, bright side with structured drained soil and reliable midsummer water supply are where castor pays. Some word about cultivation technology. Castor follow autumn cereals, annual legumes, and well-fertilized row crops. We avoid monoculture and doubt predecessors like alfalfa or sorghum. It's actually a friendly precedent for many spring crops. On nutrition, castor's removal per 100 kilogram seeds plus stems in roughly 7.1 kilogram nitrogen, 1.7 kilogram phosphorus, and 5.9 kilogram potassium. A practical fertilizer program sits near 50 to 60 kilogram per hectare nitrogen and 40 to 50 kilogram per hectare potassium, with phosphorus work in a basic tillage and nutrition split or applied ahead of spring seedbed work. Avoid heavy in-season nitrogen. It delays maturity and stimulates branching when we actually want to main the primary rhizomes to finishing strong. Manure gives modest response here compared with other row crops. Often better to apply in the preceding crop and let castor benefit indirectly. Tillage remains deep and structured. Plowed to 25 to 30 centimeters can prevent harpan, then disc and finish with a fine, firm seedbed at 8 to 10 centimeter deep. Seed must be large, high purity, more than 85% germ and fungicide treated. Sowing window. Typically the first, second to 10th day of April, when soil are truly warm. Row spacing 70 centimeters, sweet mechanical weeding and harvest. Intra-row spacing is set to curb excessive branching. Remember, too much space and the plant keep producing secondary rhizome that won't mature on time. Seeding rates is usually 30 to 40 kg per hectare, deep 6 to 11 centimeters depending on moisture. Weed control is decisive because emerge can only take 2-3 weeks in cool spring. Use a pre-sowing or pre-emerge grass herbicide plus 2-3 inter-row cultivation and 2-3 hand wings early. Protect a 12 to 15 centimeters strip around the row on first pass to avoid snapping the fragile hypocotyl. About diseases. Rotation is the first shields. Fungicide on warning for both treated ripening. Irrigation to well-timed events can add more once at main raceme appearance and one at early seed fill. Harvest. Target full maturity when capsules are brown and seed moisture is 13 to 15%. Options include one-pass mechanical harvest after desiccation or 2 phases. Cut ripe capsule, dry, then thresh with a capsuling thresher. Because seeds are oil-rich, safe storage, moisture is low, 6%, so clean and dry promptly. Throughout, enforce strict safety and hygiene around meal and grain residues due to resin and resin. The raffined oil itself does not contain resin. Some ideas about industrial use and current trends. Castor is a classic case when chemistry meets agriculture. Thanks to that 80% linoleic acid, the oil has a set of properties that's hard to replicate. High viscosity, film strength, the thermal and chemical stability. That is why industry uses castor oil to make polyamides like nylon, 11 biodegradable lubricants, hyaluronic fluids, plasticizers, advanced ink and coating and components in synthetic rubber. Dehydrated oil, castor oil, behave as a drying oil for paints and varnishing, forming flexible, adherent films. The cosmetic and pharma world prize it for texture and compatibility, thick lipstick, high hair serum, capsule excipients. Beyond the oil, detoxified meal become a protein food, steam feed into particle boards and eco-composite, and leaves support, especially sericulture. Even beekeeping can benefit from its nectar flow. Trend point of view, bio-based materials. Demand is growing for plant-derived polymer, safer plasticizers and green lubricants, areas where castor already wins on performance. Countries like India, Brazil and China have built full value chains from hybrids to extraction to downstream chemistry, positioning castor as a strategic bioeconomy crop. In the same time, there are debates about mass technologies. First, worker safety and processing hygiene around resin in meal and residues, solved with strict protocol and detox technologies, but never optional. Second, the temperate zone question. Could countries like Romania revive castor? Agrochemically, yes, in the south. Economically, only with hybrid seeds, contracting and processing capacity return. Third, the classic food versus industrial-led use discussion, especially relevant as sunflower and rapeseeds already anchor our oilseed area. Net-net, castor industrial relevance is growing, not shrinking. Where the heat, light, water, and value chain line up, it can be a profitable niche that feeds high-value, low-carbon industry. And if we rebuild breeding and processing bridges, it could again be part of diversified, future-ready oilseed portfolio.